that transition to the industry where everything has changed, and everything has changed perhaps for the foreseeable future. So what we want to do is make sure that the time that you have and the resource available to you through the employability services at Ulster is maximised. So we've moved an awful lot of our stuff online. The whole purpose is to make sure that you remain connected to your network, do not lose contact with employers or with your academic colleagues or with the students that you've been studying alongside for the past number of years. So keep that live, because a lot of what you can find out about your opportunities are going to be through that network. And we want to as well make sure that you continue to develop your skills. We know that at times whenever you're on lockdown, you wonder what could you be doing that is going to be valuable. So we provided with many routes through which you can ensure that your skills, and in this case it's going to be mostly digital skills, which are clearly very valuable for the future. We're making sure that you do still get the opportunity to develop skills and keep yourself learning. Ultimately, because we are employability, we want to make sure that you keep in mind and keep focused on your career ambitions. We know it's frustrating, we know it's difficult, we know none of us have been prepared for this, but it is very important to keep in sight what it is you're hoping to achieve in the future. At the moment, the timing isn't the very best, but we are expecting some form of turnaround, and I think that we can see that coming about. A lot of what I do at the university is in connection with employer partners who are offering placement opportunities. And although in March and in April it looked very bad and there was some very depressing predictions, it does now seem there's a little bit of light. As I was saying earlier at this session, it looks like there's a little bit more activity around, certainly in Belfast, so there's a bit of hope there. And as employer partners begin to realise what is possible and refocus on what can be done in the immediate future, then opportunities are arising. So do, as we say, and what we're focused on, keep your network live, keep your knowledge and your skills up to date, and do keep in mind what it is you aim to do whenever you've graduated. So that is still, we hope, going to happen, but timing is going to be more important than anything, and be ready to take action on opportunity whenever that arises. Okay, so we are becoming used to online working, and as you know now, you'll have seen the little red dot appear on your screen. So this section is being recorded so that we can use this to help our employer partners promote the opportunities they have, and as well as that, I want to be able to use this for other students in the future. You should have been muted while people or anyone else is talking, and that's the usual format, and that's the protocol that we all have adjusted to. You only switch off your microphone if you have something to say, and as Laura said earlier on, do use the chat facility if you can, and if you have questions or anything that needs to be addressed, we'd be happy to help wherever we can. Okay, so I want to stop sharing this, and I think what we'll do is just as an overview, I know that there were 21, 22 students booked onto the session. Many of them coming from the Construction Engineering Management, CEM course at the university. And we also have our civils and quantity surveyors online as well. We have a few from environmental health, so you're very welcome. I'm glad to know that there are environmental health students here, because we do encourage environmental health students to look wider than the traditional public sector or council areas for opportunity. I think there was just the one from Building Services Engineering, and glad to see that as well. So what I want to do then is let you know that who we have online here, myself. I am, as you know, working with employability. I'm based at Jordanstown, and a lot of the activity I get engaged with is usually with academic colleagues who are helping students get into placements. We also have Laura, who is with the employability department as well. And online, I have Ciara Larmour from Integra. Ciara is based in Monaghan, and that's where Integra has developed its site now, and been there just a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, I think. So if you don't know them, Integra is a design, engineering, and manufacturing company, and they are engaged, as many are, fully integrated off-site solutions for residential commercial construction. Our other speaker is going to be Donal Gallagher. Donal is Director
Donal
of
is
Operations.
with us now. Seamus, apologies to
happy
interrupt you.
days.
Yeah, he's joined now.
Okay, you're very welcome, Donal. Glad you could make it through technology. So, based at the KES Group, and Donal is, as I say, Director of Operations, and there again you have modular construction through Smart Build, in this case, design and construction in a controlled environment. So what will happen is that the speakers will outline what's happening from their perspective in industry, maybe highlighting some of the opportunities that are live, because I know that both have a recruitment campaign running at the moment. And maybe we'd be very interested, because this is as much about networking and understanding how things are panning out. Let us know what sort of skills, knowledge the students and graduates of Ulster University are going to need for the future. And so if I first of all hand over to Ciara. Ciara, would you mind kicking off and tell us a little bit about Integra and how you've found yourselves with a European site in Monaghan?
Hi everybody, welcome. Thanks for having me. My name is Ciara Larmour, and my role in the office here in Integra is I'm a training and development coordinator. So I help out with the training needs of employees, and also we run our own level 6 course of a local institution here that we help out, and we provide them with 12 weeks on-site training as well, on the job training. So a wee bit about our company is that we started out in 2017. I suppose most of us already knew each other. We came from a background, so we had with their CEO having formed another company in Ireland here called Century Homes. So Jerry McCahey, he formed that company, so he did, and he sold it off to Kingspan in I think it was 2004. And Jerry went off to America and settled down there, so he did with his wife and his children, and started looking at the way that they were building out there and realised that how behind they were in times with the way that we build here. So he did that he was going to try and break the market there. So that's what he's been doing since 2004, making contacts and that there with other people in the industry. And then in 2017, he got together a management team and they started off Integra. So he opened up his first factory in Modesto in California to produce kits out of it. And then last year in September 2019, he opened up our second factory. So it is 180,000 square feet of a factory, fully automated, doing the FIOS system, the fully integrated offsite solutions. And our technical office here in Monaghan is the main hub of the technical research development, estimating and finance department that facilitates the American side of the manufacturing plant and erection. So we don't actually manufacture, or we don't deliver any houses in Ireland. So we don't. All our manufacturing and our delivery of products happens on the US market. So in 2018, in early 2018, we got an investment, so we did, of a company LP of 55 million. So that allowed us to go ahead and produce the factory that we opened up last year. So the plan is that by next year, hopefully we'll have our third factory up and running, which will be in the same size and scale as the one that we have already in Modesto. So it's going to be maybe in the LA region. So again, to do all that and get our manufacturing plant facilities and that there to be able to get the product out, we need to be recruiting, so we do in our technical offices. So at the minute, when we got our investment, we announced that we had 100 new jobs that we needed to fill. So at the minute, we were at about 28 there. So we were about a month ago, and we have 14 new people came on board there. So we did within the last month. So at the minute, they are going through our training processes, and we have a fully equipped training room, so we do on site that is completely dedicated to training our employees up to date with all the systems and procedures that we have in place. So we are very committed. So we are to training employees, to cross-training them within departments. Our technical department has a design and engineering side, so it does with floors, roofs, and walls, and we cross-training them, and obviously with the opportunity, hopefully with COVID-19, when hopefully it settles down, that we will be able to go back to our training abroad as well. So part of the training is that the employees taken out there and shown our product, and on site meeting with customers, meeting with the employees that we have over in America as well. So that's just a wee bit about the background of the company, and the positions that we're trying to fill at the minute is complete within the technical department, so design and engineering. So a wee bit about the roles is that we use our packages, our software packages. We use up-to-date software packages to generate our drawings, and then to keep in contact with our site, with our guys on site. We use a software that allows them to take pictures of kits on site and send it back to us in real time if there's any problems, any questions, any queries, that we can be answering them, so we can, at the time that they're on site, any problems that they have. That's a bit, I suppose, as much as I can tell you. If anybody has any questions, or
yeah, we'll maybe get to the questions at some point, but for the moment, thank you very much, Ciara. That's really very valuable. It's a good background, a bit of a history there, and well, it's exciting times for Integra. And we'll hear some more whenever we get into the breakout rooms, and you can get some, well, as it were, face-to-face connection with the students here. So I think Donal is live and with us at the moment. And thank you for that.
And if you can hear me.
Yes, indeed. Oh, yes, all clear. All clear.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So a nice, fresh building, clean, tidy office space you've got there.
Yeah, well, the IT infrastructure probably needs to be fully commissioned, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
That's grand, because I think we made contact for the first time, Donal, just a few weeks back with Michael Maguire from your place, and so because you had a campaign to attract students and graduates, I wanted to get you on board here and tell us a little bit about what you're doing there at KES Group and how you've come onto the market, and perhaps give us a little bit about the recruitment campaign you've got and the sort of skills that you might be looking out for.
Yes, well, Seamus, I suppose to give you an overview of what we do, we are a modular construction company. We've been active in the market probably for a few years now. The company is a young and vibrant company. We're probably in total around 10 years old. So our previous experience would have been in the renewable sector, and we would have kind of looked at photovoltaic technologies and different elements like that over the last few years. I'm a building surveyor by profession, and my background is in construction, so we would always have kept quite an eye on modern methods of construction and modular construction over the last number of years, and we'd have been keen to move into that sector whenever the time was right. So in about 2013-14, we started to make plans to develop a line of modular buildings. So initially they would have taken the form of sort of M&E, mechanical and electrical solutions. So there would have been packaged plant heater or packaged plant rooms. So that would have been providing heating and ventilation systems for large commercial projects. But what we tend to do here sometimes by our own, I suppose, our own fault is sometimes we over-engineer things. So there was an element where the units, the existing market offering, if you want, was probably just very utilitarian. So we would have added a bit of design and some nice finishes. And it was as simple as somebody saying to us that would make a brilliant office where you put a boiler in it. So we started to develop that kind of modular office sector, and then for the last few years it's really snowballed. So at the moment we are on a number of education frameworks where we design and build, and just build in some situations classroom accommodation. We develop office, gym, residential, basically all that kind of pre-finished effectively stuff. And I suppose what we kind of try to do is, it's harder in the factory because we would complete probably 80% of the fit out in the factory. It leaves the modules harder to transport and logistically a bit more challenging, but it means that installation time on site is very small, very straightforward. So we would have a broad range of skills within our facility. So we have quite a large, some people could think it's disproportionate, our kind of administrative capacity versus our operational capacity, but we would have a large team of designers, detailers. We're finding that we're really active in the kind of bid sector at the moment, so that bid writing, quantity surveying role is critically important. So that's something we're really keen at the moment to develop and grow.
Great, that's fantastic. It looks like from both of what you're saying is the technical aspects and the speed at which you can turn things around is a big deal for industry at the moment. Yeah, Donald, do you want to add a wee bit to that? The pace at which you have to change?
I suppose for the modular sector, the modular sector will never replace traditional construction methods, but I think it's not so much of a silent partner, but definitely a sector that is growing and complementing traditional construction. So the speed at which projects can be deployed is critical. So we would find that kind of just-in-time procurement methodology and that whole supply chain management and logistics management is really, really important. So whereas in traditional construction, you could have, a group of operatives that are painters that land on site, but they can't get finished because the dry liner hasn't sanded, all this kind of stuff that goes on. That is something we try and iron out in the modular sector. So it's really, in terms of delays from materials and services, they're kept a minimum. It's really just a chain of operations. So definitely there are probably new roles I would see emerging that you probably, well, I wouldn't say you can't learn at university, but there are elements of supply chain management, logistics, all that kind of project planning that is, I suppose, is kind of stuff that's picked up on the job, but it's great to see, graduates coming through with elements that interwoven into their modules.
Okay, that sounds good. It's a fair point. There's some things you can't learn in the lecture theatre. And Kira, because you're the training development coordinator, you know very much about the importance of being able to turn things around. People have got to be flexible, and all that technology, willing to learn. Is that a fair enough point?
Oh, definitely. I suppose the way that we're working in America is the houses that we're putting up, it'll take you to get to the roof level. It'll take you about a day and a half for us to put our house to roof level, whereas the way that they're constructing it, it takes them 22 days. So it does, to whenever they're constructing it stick by stick and putting on all the hardware, they're taking in different teams, so they are on site as well. So the amount of people stick framing it takes to build a house compared to the amount of people we would actually put on site to erect the house. So there might be 4 men on site with a crane to erect one of our own kits, whereas there could be 5 teams of maybe five people on site for a stick frame house. So even with everything that's going on over in everywhere at the minute with social distancing, it's become apparent to the people in the building market that our way, as in the FIOS way, is the way to be going. So yeah, even it showed even in the inquiries that we had, our inquiries went up by 350% during the COVID-19 pandemic, or when it was shut down over there. So it was for a wee while. So people, especially now, it's becoming more apparent to them that they need to have less people on site and be able to put up their houses quicker. So again, in order for us to do that, we need to have the people and the staff in place here that are going to work with working teams to have all the information up front to allow them to do that. So what they're doing is they're integrating onto one drawing all the building services drawings, the engineers drawings and the architectural drawings onto one drawing, so that everything's worked out before the kit is manufactured and sent out to site. So again, all the programs and software that we use, yeah, it's very important that everybody, so in employment, when there's always a training program when you're brought in, so there is that set up for you straight away. So everybody gets the same training to put into their roles, but then it's assessed, so it is on obviously a constant basis, so it is to see what needs, what each individual person might need, and to help them and progress their role.
Great. So as you say, you know, Donald was saying he came from a building services or building surveying.
Building surveying, so it will be a lot of traditional construction methods.
So yep, got to be able to remain flexible and keep